The crowning event in the Crocus social calendar was the snowball. It beat out barn raisings and christenings by a mile. Traditionally, the dance was the place for the single folk to choose their partners and make their feelings known. For the rest of us, it was the time when romance became our primary spectator sport.
Good morning, Miss Henchbaw.
Good morning, Helen. Is it that time already?
3 hours earlier tonight, battling a major blaze at the Cochrane Road stockyard. Firemen and stockyard workers were forced to evacuate nearly 100 at the south. The daytime temperature will be fire, which is believed to have been started by faulty electrical wiring, is estimated at $35,000. Another fire, this one accidentally set by young children playing with matches, destroyed a barn on a farm near Swift Current yesterday afternoon. Also destroyed.
Morning, Ben.
Morning, Miss Henchbaw.
And I thought farmers were all up at the crack of dawn.
Yes, ma'am. More done by 8 than most townsfolk manage in a whole day.
Pretty quick on your feet. It's hard to believe it's the same man who danced his partner into the bandstand at last year's snowball.
A repeat's been giving away my secrets again, has he?
I'd say it's part of local legend now.
Well, now, in my own defense, I have to say that bowling over that fiddle player wasn't really my doing. Now, technically speaking, when Mabel Hepworth leads, men simply follow.
Maybe this year you need a partner who's willing to share the lead.
Oh. You have someone in mind?
Merely making an observation.
Well, this should last you the day.
Good morning, class. Good morning, Miss Henchbaw. Today, we will be listening to our very own Premier, Mr. Tommy Douglas, asking Canada to be a world leader in recognizing Red China as a country. Now, after the Premier has finished speaking, we'll finish up those Crocus snowball posters we started yesterday.
Yeah!
Shh, shh, shh.
I believe the people of Canada and the people of Saskatchewan want peace. We also want freedom. I don't believe in peace at any price, but I do believe in justice at any cost.
Prettiest window dressing I've ever seen.
Bet you say that to all the girls.
Oh, look. Wedding gowns. This one's nice.
Oh, it's too old-fashioned. I was thinking something just below the knee. The full skirt and short veil.
You, my love, would be a vision if you wore a paper sack.
I don't think it's proper to label such people as being communists or subversive. I think this is the time.
Well, what do you think about what you've just heard?
My dad says that all commies should be lined up against a wall and shot.
And what do you think, Helen?
Well, I don't think that anyone should be shot.
Good for you. Gordy?
But Miss Henchbaw, lots of people disagree with the socialist policies of the provincial government.
True, Gordy. But then again, many people talk about these ideas without a good grasp of the concepts. Let's take, for instance, a case where there are children born into families that have no money for food. Is it your belief that those children should go to bed hungry?
No, that wouldn't be right.
I don't think so either, Ben. In my opinion, wealthier families in a province or a country should have to help out those less fortunate families. Some people call that socialism.
Is it the same as communism?
No, but both systems are informed by ideas of social responsibility. Okay, let's go finish those snowball posters.
Yeah!
Albert, how many times have I told you not to sneak up on a man who uses a straight razor for a living? How many times? It's a fascinating article. Albert, fascinating. Mating rituals of the stickleback.
I swear, Repeat, if you spent half the time drumming up business or organizing your personal affairs that you do gathering useless information, you'd be a rich and happy man.
See, they used to think that the father fish was only trying to guard the little minnows, you see. Now we know he only wants to eat them. Only he can't, see, because he's got lockjaw. Can you imagine? Lockjaw.
Yeah, it'd be nice if you had lockjaw.
No need to be rude. Just trying to dispense a little information. Just trying to dispense a little... What are you getting all slicked up for?
A man needs to take care of his appearance, Repeat. Women appreciate that sort of thing.
Anyway, these minnows grow up and they swim off to safety, and the father's lockjaw completely Women?
Miss Henchbaw. She's a lovely woman. Kind of woman who deserves a place on my arm come Saturday night.
You're taking Emily Henchbaw to the snowball?
Oh, yes, indeedy do.
I had half a mind to ask her myself. Half a mind to...
But as you can appreciate, Repeat, it is the early stickleback who gets the worm.
When did you ask her?
I'm on my way right now.
Albert, what a nice surprise.
Emily, I'd like to talk to you about the dance Saturday night.
I would love to visit, only I
I'm
promised
not
to read these
visiting.
posters before the supper rush, and I really can't let him down. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
No, if you could spare a little time later on, we could discuss it. The Intelligent Woman's Guide to Socialism and Capitalism.
Halt, comrade left hand. We, the people, will be satisfied at our desires.
Why do I have to be the enemy of the people?
Are you now, or have you ever been, a member of the Communist Party?
What? Albert, have you lost your mind?
I asked Miss Henchbaw a question, not you.
I haven't done anything.
No? What about using the schoolroom to promote left-wing causes? Polluting the minds of our youth. And what is it you commies say? Give me a man for his first 7 years and I'll have him for life?
That's the Jesuits.
Albert, what is this about?
This is about freedom. Democracy. The very survival of our free market.
Ah, rubbish. I hate to be the one to break it to you, Albert, but the gas fumes at the garage are obviously causing your brain to rot.
Insult me if you want to, Gate, but I know what I saw. There's a hammer and sickle on the blackboard. Subversive reading material on Miss Henchbaw's desk, and kids walking around town calling each other comrade. As a member of the Crocus School Board, I have a moral responsibility to put a quick end to this.
Don't worry about Albert. He hasn't been the same since Archie Tate took his lollipop and rolled it in the sand in 2nd grade.
Be easier not to mind him if he wasn't on the Crocus School Board. Teachers in Ontario have been blacklisted for less than he's accusing. Afternoon, Molly. I wanted you to have these for the store.
Oh, these are great.
Aren't they? Those children remind me what I'm doing here in this intellectual backwater.
Albert's been giving her a hard time. Natural need to blow off a little steam.
Oh, I have to check the cookies.
I swear, I have not had so many cakes and cookies and fancy meals since Greg arrived. It's like she's fattening him up for market.
He'll need lots of energy to keep up with that one. She's a firebrand, just like her father.
What, you mean that little scrap with Albert? Oh, that was nothing. Gad, I was a young man during the farm revolts. Now that was fun. Everyone marching on the legislature.
So this wasn't your first political confrontation?
There was 15 of us, ready to do whatever it took. There was police on both sides.
Dad, please. I'm sure Emily has better things to do than listen to your half-true stories from the glory days.
No, Molly, your father has been perfectly charming.
Well, it was a good little chat.
Well, you have these?
Yep. Now that's an interesting woman.
We're sure lucky to live in Crocus.
Yeah. Hey, maybe those Chinese kids would like some comics. We could send them some of the ones we already read.
If they don't have anything to eat, they don't need comics. They need food or money for food.
All I got is $5.50 for my birthday.
Not that kind of money, Ben. Real money.
Like the money that Repeat and the town council has after the snowball.
Exactly. $1 for adults, 50 cents for kids. They're gonna make lots.
If we tell him about the hungry kids in China, Repeat will give him some money. I know he will.
We could ask him tomorrow, see what he says.
So you going stag on Saturday night, Jake?
Always do.
Don't tell me. More fun shopping when the basket's empty. Why don't you ask Emily? She's such a lovely woman. She's attractive and interesting and intelligent.
2 arms, 2 legs. Don't know why that means I have to ask her to the dance.
Why are you so difficult? A little romance never hurt anyone.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that, Julia.
Well, I'm going this year. It's a beginning.
They look wonderful, Henry. Thank you for putting them up.
Always happy to make room for young talent. So, have you recovered yet?
Recovered?
From a bad case of Albert.
Oh, mostly. I had a nice talk with Gate afterward. It helped.
If anyone can handle Albert, it's Gate.
You know, I always knew he was a straightforward man, but I never realized how charming he is.
Kate? You two have a unique perspective, Emily.
Anyway, I've got a room full of young talent waiting for me down the street. Thanks again, Henry.
Goodbye.
The town council has lots of money. You're always saying that.
Okay. I just have to think about it for a while. Let me think about it for a while. Starving kids in China, eh? Why China?
We just learned about it in school, but you must know all about that because you're reading, don't you?
Yeah, you must know how much they need our help.
Most certainly on the topic of China, I am most knowledgeable. Most certainly China, knowledgeable. They're communist. Nevertheless, I suppose if they're hungry.
Over my dead body. As long as I'm treasurer, there won't be 1 penny of town council money fueling the destruction of democracy. As for you two, don't you have to get to socialism class? Fresh young minds so susceptible to subversion.
Live and let live. That's what I say. That's my motto. Live and let live.
I swear, between you and Gate, it's a wonder we don't have the Bolshevik party headquarters above the barber shop.
Couldn't. Not at least until Greg and Molly get hitched, because prior to that, Greg needs someplace to stay. He might have to live with Gate. Living with Gate. Imagine that.
Gate Gatenby. I should have realized he always was a suspicious character. I mean, if you'd seen the way he took Miss Henchbaw's side in the cafe yesterday.
What do you expect the man to do? Emily Henchbaw's sweet on him.
Emily's sweet on Gate? That's ridiculous. He's a retired farmer, and his hair's white. What hair he still has.
I heard Emily tell Henry that she thought Gate was charming.
Gate? I've met turnips that were more charming.
Well, if that don't beat all, Emily, sweet, on Gate.
I think they'd make a fine couple.
Mm-hmm.
And what with Molly getting married and all, well, keep old Gate from getting lonely.
You know, it's not like he's the only single man in town. Don't you think Repeat here ever gets lonely? Anyway, am I the only one here worried about the fate of the free world? You two would be happy just to stand by and let this red tide sweep away everything we believe in, wouldn't you?
Wouldn't you?
Red tide.
I get so stir-crazy out here this time of year. After all the globe-trotting you've done, Moses, Crocus must seem terribly small.
You know something? Not really. The place you're in is only as big or as small as your imagination.
It's not hard to see that you and Jake are friends.
I guess we have rubbed off on each other, haven't we? It's not a fair trade, though, if you ask me. Jake got all his wisdom from me, and I picked up all my foolishness from him.
Well, if that's the case, I wish Jake had the wisdom to see that Emily Henchbaw is a wonderful woman.
I'm pretty sure he sees it, Julia.
But?
There are a lot of things I know about our friend Jake, but the romantic side of his heart isn't one of them.
Is there a romantic side to his heart?
Well, I'm sure of it. He just keeps it carefully guarded for some reason. Hey, boys. How was school today?
School was okay, but...
Well, Lazarus and I asked Mr. Golightly if he could get the rest of the town council to give some money from the snowball to the hungry little kids in Red China.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, but when he was about to say yes, Mr. Ricky came in and said, over his dead body. He was real mad.
I'm pretty sure it's not the two of you that he's mad at.
No, I don't suppose he was. I ran into Gate today. He told me all about Albert's rant in the cafe.
But maybe you two should think about making the money yourselves instead of asking Repeat and the town council for it.
How?
Well, you could do some odd jobs around town.
Or you could do something for the dance. Like a bake sale. Only you two would have to do the baking yourselves.
Sure, we can do it.
Great idea. Thanks, Mom.
So, how's this town's most passionate communist sympathizer?
Closed for lunch. Can't you read the sign?
I'm a man of action, not words. The door's unlocked.
Hey, what do you want, Albert?
I realized there was something not quite right, her being a socialist and all, but I had no idea she was perverse enough to fall for the likes of you.
You're foaming at the mouth again, Albert.
I'd say it's Emily Henchbaw who's foaming. Going all over town, telling everyone how sweet and charming you are.
Well, I've always said that Emily Henchbaw was a woman of sound judgment and good taste. I guess that's why she doesn't care too much for you, eh, Albert?
Well, maybe if the two of you tie the knot soon enough, you can honeymoon at next year's May Day parade in Moscow.
Well, believe me, Albert, worse things can happen to a man than marrying a woman like Emily Henchbaw.
If you two boys are finished your little tiff...
He's closed.
What can I get for you, Mabel?
So, Lazarus and I figure that if we all bring some food, we'll have enough to last the whole dance.
Yeah, like some cookies or a cake or a pie.
Come in.
Hello, Miss Henchbaw. Arnold Ardmore. I'm an inspector with the Saskatchewan Department of Education. I'm here to sit in your class today. Don't mind me.
Okay, we thought that if we sold the pies and cakes by the slices, that we can make more money, and the people could eat what they bought right there.
I hope this isn't your dinner.
Well, it's a little hard to get excited about cooking, Molly, when you live alone.
I guess that's true. I've always had Dad to take care of. And now Greg.
Thanks. Today's really not my day.
I heard you were having a little trouble with Albert, our resident protector of the free world. Sorry to hear that. See, sometimes Albert just doesn't have enough to do with his spare time. Now, I could have a word with him if you like.
That's very gentlemanly of you, Jake, but I suppose I can take care of myself.
All right.
Well, I think this is the red Julie wanted.
Well, Henry's got goulash yuk for a special tonight, so I'd best get over there before it's all gone. Thanks.
Chinese food tastes better if you eat it with chopsticks.
I've tried that. Just that I can't seem to operate the darn things. It takes a finer touch than mine, I guess.
Evening, Emily. Can I get you something?
Oh, no thank you, Henry. Oh, maybe just a glass of water.
Go ahead. Never been touched.
Jake, I was wondering about the snowball.
That's just what I wanted to talk about, Emily. Jake?
Hi, Jake.
Do you mind?
No.
Emily, I was wondering if you would do me the honor of accompanying me to the Crocus Snowball.
Certainly, Gate. I would love to. Thank you for asking. Well, if you gentlemen will excuse me, I'll be saying good night.
Good night. Thank God that's over. Getting a little long in the tooth for that kind of thing.
Aren't we all?
Oh.
I am mortified. Sick to death to hear how little patriotism there is in this town. Frankly, I don't know how either of you can look the flag in the face in the morning. Especially you, Julia. I mean, considering your fine upbringing.
My upbringing included respect for free thought and intellectual discussion, Albert.
What are you getting so hot under the collar about, Albert? So the kids have finally taken an interest in something they're learning.
Sure. The overthrow of the democratically elected government. And to think, if I hadn't paid that innocent little visit to the school the other day, nothing at all would be standing in the way of this spreading red menace.
Yeah. Repeat, he told me about that innocent little visit.
Anyway, I don't think anyone is planning on overthrowing the government, Albert. And I think you should be ashamed of yourself for your attack on Emily. She is an excellent teacher.
So were Marx and Lenin in their own twisted way. And now she wants to bring the seeds of sedition to our crocus dance with her bake sale for communism. Well, I've said no, absolutely not.
Even though you are the treasurer of the Crocus Town Council, the snowball isn't your dance, Albert. And furthermore, a bake sale at which the children sell the goods that they've baked themselves is In fact, the best example of free enterprise that I can think of.
Raising money for the end of democracy?
Something tells me, Albert, that a public vote on the subject would come out strongly in favor of butter tarts.
People are easily swayed, Julia, but that doesn't mean the woman isn't a danger to the hearts and minds of Crocus. Inspector.
Mr. Ricky.
See what I mean? Threat to the free world? It starts in the classroom, doesn't it?
I would hardly classify making snowball posters and listening to our premier speak to the legislature as acts of sedition, particularly in the case of the latter, as it is that elected body that pays my salary.
What? Are you telling me you're not even going to recommend some kind of disciplinary action?
Hardly. In fact, I'm hard-pressed to remember ever having seen a better run, more stimulating classroom than Miss Henchbaw's. Now, if there isn't anything else, Mr. Ricky.
This runs deeper than I thought.
Well, this is shaping up to be one of the best snowballs ever.
Hey, boys. How are you? Oh, hey, Jay. Julia, it is lovely to see you. What a surprise. That's wonderful. You look fine.
Greg, hi.
Quite the spread. The ladies' auxiliary certainly did a good job of decorating, don't you think?
It's beautiful. I've always loved the snowball. Except for the dancing, of course. I really think it brings everyone together.
True. Of course, we're all not as much in favor of bringing the generations together as you are in your family.
What does that mean?
Well, it's just that your father must be awfully fond of Miss Henchbaw to risk the intricacies of marriage at his age.
Marriage? Where'd you get a silly idea like that?
No, it's silly, all right, but I got it right from the old horse's mouth just the other day.
Where?
At the store. Albert Ricky and your father were arguing about Emily Henchbaw, just like a couple of teenage boys.
Oh, Lord. He even has a ring.
Chocolate brownies at the end of democracy, Timothy. Have you thought about the cause you're contributing to?
Dad, I need to talk to you. Right now.
Don't mind if I do.
I'm worried about you, Dad.
Well, don't worry about your old man. You should be out on the dance floor having fun.
You know I can't dance. And this is really important. Sometimes, Dad, things that seem like a good idea, well, they're not really. Not in the long run.
One thing you've never been, Molly, is vague.
Marriage, Dad. It's a really big step. And no matter how much you might like somebody...
Yes, dear?
Well, take furniture, for example. What if they like strange kinds of furniture? You could end up living in a house furnished in a way you didn't like. Or you'd have to compromise, and that way nothing would match.
If you have this many concerns, dear, maybe you should wait until you and Greg know each other better.
I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about you. Proposing to Emily.
Me proposing to Emily? Have you lost your mind? I swear, between you and Albert, this whole town has gone batty.
But the ring the other day.
The ring? That ring was your mother's. I got it out for you. I gave it to her a long time ago after one of these winter dances. And I was waiting for the right moment to give it to you, but I guess this moment is about as right as any. Your mother worked so hard. She never spent a dime on herself. Made her cry just to get that little ring. I tell you, Molly, every time I woke up with your mother beside me, I knew I'd been blessed. And I just want the same for you. So, unless you have any other imaginary things that you want to stop me from doing,
Want to dance, don't you?
No, I don't. It's just great being here with you.
How's it going, Albert?
How would you be if you saw everything you believed in being made a mockery of?
True, that Gate is a pretty rotten dancer, isn't he?
Terrible.
Albert, why don't you just go over there and give her a proper turn around the floor?
Can't be fraternizing with subversive elements, Jake. Someone has to be left to protect democracy.
Oh, come on, doesn't hurt if political extremes find some way to communicate, does it?
Maybe it wouldn't be wrong if I established some kind of dialogue.
Looks like Emily needs rescuing.
I'm on my way to do that right now.
Miss Henchbaw, if you'd be so kind as to grace me with a dance.
Oh, Albert. Well, one more dance can't hurt. Perhaps if you tried leading with your left foot, Mr. Ricky?
Yeah, sure.
Jitterbug. Just like home.
No, I can't. Really, I don't know how.
Sure you don't want to give it a try?
No.
I'll teach you.
No, thanks, though.
Come on, it'll be fun.
I can't.
Oh, that's fine. Don't worry. I'll go get us some more punch.
Okay.
dance like that. Look who's talking. Every man in Crocus is practically tripping all over himself for a dance with you.
Not every man.
Jake's not much of a dancer. But he just needs a little coaxing.
You don't have to spare my feelings, Junior. If he wanted to, he would ask me.
Sometimes fate needs a little push.
Excuse me? Excuse me? Folks, please join me in a big hand, in giving a big hand to our special guest, all the way from Weyburn, Teresa Tridell of the famous Tridell Sisters.
Good evening, Crocus. Actually, we are both very happy to be here to sing for you.
I'm sorry. I can't do this.
Can I help you find your coat there, Emily?
I'm not looking for my coat, Jake.
Well, it's just that you're in the coat room, and, well, that's what people usually do when they're in the coat room.
Stop. Please. Is it just me who feels it?
feel it too.
I hear a but.
I just know there's no future in it.
Why?
People are too different, Emily.
Different is not a bad thing, Jake. It's what makes people interesting.
Early mornings, breaking the ice off the milk pail. Those things are my life. I know they won't make you happy. Not for long, anyway.
How do you know?
Everybody needs somebody a little bit like them. I do, you do too. No matter how hard I tried, someday you'd end up getting restless and disappointed, and well, you'd end up needing something else. See, the prairie's always had enough for me.
Isn't it cowardice not even to try? I haven't felt this way in a long time. Maybe not even my whole life. That must be worth something.
It is. I can't imagine how it makes me feel to have a beautiful, interesting woman like you want... Well, it does wonders. Emily, I've spent a lot of my life chasing rainbows, and you always end up alone.
I'm not a rainbow, Jake. Well, I guess I better go find my date.
Oh?
$96.45.
$96.45. Good for you, Ben. Good for you.
Plus
Plus,
the $5.25 that you owe us from everything you ate tonight. Gives us a total of $101.70. Congratulations, Mr. Ricky. You donated the most money out of all to the starving children in China.
Maybe it's because it only came around once a year, in the dead of winter when folks were feeling pent up enough as it was. But the crocus snowball always stirred up a lot of emotion in people. Some had their hearts won over. Some had their hearts broken. And some had their hearts set free.
Someone's on the right side of happiness. Have a good time tonight, did you?
You know what, Jake? I had a wonderful time. Maybe it's true what they say about time. Eventually, we do get over things.
Yeah. Eventually.